What is going on YouTube? Dr. Way here. This is a super crucial video. The next three videos is going to be basically all about field fighting. So the reason why I feel like this is very relevant now is we're about to enter KVK 4, Season of Conquest. Heroic Anthem is the one that we're doing. And, there's so much overwhelming information about like the Bastions, Coalition, Crystal Tech is another big one. All these crazy commanders that people may or may not be able to get in time for the first fight or shit at any point during the KVK, honestly. At least in an operatable state. So I think it's more important than ever that our alliance is informed on, and disciplined on how to fight properly in the field. And then by extension, I'll also do rally and garrison, best practices. All right. I think it's super important to get this right. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So this first part is going to serve as like an introduction kind of overview to the field fighting. And it might be redundant information for the most part, but I think it is valuable because this is kind of the process that an officer or a war planner would kind of these are the concepts that they understand in order to do the things that they're doing or make decisions that they're making, right? So as a player, you should understand where the decision making is coming from. Amen. So basically, to start, what field fighting is anytime you have your march, on the map and it's not in a rally and you attack with it, that's going to be field fighting. Simple as that, right? And the reason why you field fight is really for two reasons. And it's going to be kind of like the general philosophy that field fighting takes, right? So first and foremost, really what you're trying to do is bankrupt the enemy. So you're trying to inflict so much damage on them that they don't have any troops, any speed ups, and any resources, or any combination of the three, right? Once you're out of troops, speed ups, or resources, or a combination of at least two of those, you're pretty much done, right? You've effectively taken that person out of commission. Okay, that's one reason why you feel fight. The other one is that you're fighting for objectives, all types of objectives on the map, right? All of these like holy sites here, like holy sites, it's objective. I guess ruins and altars would fall under holy sites. That's in KVK. You could fight passes, flags, forts, right? So those are the objectives, right? And when you fight, for objectives, what you're trying to do is get this concept called field control. And basically what field control is, it's this is how I'll describe it. You have field control if you're able to, move your marches freely around an objective. So, for example, I could easily move my marches to this flag and it won't be contested because there's no enemies basically impeding my way or any enemies that are threatening me with damage, right? That, so I'm able to move my marches, okay, just however I please, right? Sorry, it's the Marauders I have to do it to save time. Okay, amen. So now, and that just threw me off, right? The reason why you want field control is that it makes it easy to attack or defend the objective because you're not impeded, right? That's why you want to clear that field, and to go into clearing the field, that's a term that people or phrase people use, and it usually means like you're trying to clear the field of the troops, but it doesn't necessarily mean just troops. Like there's a lot of things that can impede the field. It can be like forts, like barbarian forts might be taking up a TP spot or be in a good spot that'll be for a flag while I'm looking for a fort here. Like that fort could be a prime time TP spot or a flag spot, and like you want to get rid of it. It can be lohars. People summon lohars to just take up more space, right? It can be people who can put cities in the way, right? Cities are kind of hard to get rid of. That's more involved, but that's something that can impede your way to move freely to an objective, right? So now I'll go into some of the tips for how to get field control. I think if you do these three things, you'll have more success. I'm not saying that this will necessarily win you the fights, but it'll definitely contribute to the win, right? So the first part is having a clear, short pathway to the front line. So if this flag was the front line, right, I'm fighting here in my cities, there isn't too many closer spots, right? I could obviously, if I could show you the teleport, I could maybe I could do it this way, I believe. I could obviously get up like right up on it, and then that would be the shortest distance. But everybody's not going to be able to do that, and you usually want to reserve that for the garrison captain, right? Be up that close, but this is good, like clear path. These cities are good, real quick to the front line if that's the front line, real quick. You want as many cities as possible to be like that. The next part is just having the people. The more people you have online, the more marches that you have, and then you can essentially overwhelm your opponent because they're not able to deal with the sheer amount of volume that you're bringing onto the field. So even if those marches can be like a little bit weaker, not too much weaker, but it can be theoretically quite a bit weaker, but because you have so much volume, you end up doing okay, right? And that kind of brings you to having a solid murder ball strategy. Like if you have the people online, you guys are all in the front, able to regroup quickly, right? You can be able to bring reinforcements back out quickly, your marches back out quickly, and then you have the solid murder ball strategy, where you're really maximizing the amount of players that you have. I think you're going to have a lot of success in field fighting, right? And then the last concept of this video is the murder ball, right? What is that? Basically, it's just a group of marches in a circular shape. So, for example, I have like a little murder ball here. This is a personal mini murder ball, as a lot of people like to call it, because it's just my marches, right? And you can pack them real tight in there together, right? So now, as soon as I attack something, I can like swarm it down, right? That's the best way to get rid of marches quickly. It's not really fighting a one-on-one, but taking 5 marches and swarming one march, especially to getting the damage off of the field. That's like the first thing, right? So like, for example, like I'm about to swarm, I can swarm these down, bam, swarming it down, tons of damage I'm doing, right? So in the concept of a large alliance, right, you'll have anywhere, hopefully everyone's online. That's probably not going to happen, but let's say it's 150 people. Well, everybody can be online if they're coming from different alliances. You got a full 150 fighters. Everybody's bringing at least 3 marches, like I'm going to recommend in the next video, at least, right? That's a lot of marches on the field, and then boom, right? They're all in a configuration, and then you focus enemies down. And the large formation also makes it harder for enemies to focus you because there's so many marches, and especially if you're in the middle, you're very, very safe because nobody wants to be in the middle of a murder ball where they can get swarmed down in like 10 seconds. They'll instant delete, right? So that's kind of the overview of field fighting, all the way from what is a field fight and getting down to the murder ball. In the next video, I'll cover, how to make an effective murder ball, like getting into the specific marches themselves, right? What are my recommendations? What are some things that you're looking to do? What do you not want to do? All of that good stuff. So hopefully you found this video informative. I'm rooting for us, 2387. You got your biggest supporter right here, 2387 for life. And I'll see you in the next video.